September 30th, 1985, Pete Townshend appeared on the talk shows promoting his book, Horse's Neck. He must not have done such a good job because it hit the remainder tables quickly. And I gotta say, even though I had a year prior published my senior thesis on Pete Townshend at College of Worcester, I did not enjoy this book. Sorry, Pete. But here he is with a very entertaining interview with JOAN LUNDEN on Good Morning America, September 30th, 1985. Smiling, smiling, smiling. That's how we like our Pete Townshend.
7:30, David Hartman and JOAN LUNDEN. For nearly 2 decades now, Pete Townshend and his music made The Who one of the most popular rock bands in the world. The members of The Who are no longer together, except for this Live Aid concert reunion here. But Pete Townshend continues to write not only music, but now a collection of short stories and poetry. And Pete Townshend will be with us in just a few minutes.
Also, Joel Siegel is going to stop by with a review of Meg Tilly, Jane Fonda, and Anne Bancroft and Agnes.
In our next report. David.
Thank you, Dave. 23 minutes before 8 right now. When we come back, Pete Townshend of The Who. After this, 23 before 9. 8 before 8 before 8.
Spray flies, the speedboat flies. I had to do Constitution, think about a new revolution. Flying through the trees all around, pick up my guitar and play. Just like yesterday, then I'll get on my knees and pray.
One of the highlights of the recent Live Aid concert for African famine relief was the brief reunion of The Who. The Who officially disbanded in 1983 after almost 20 years as a rock and roll legend. Pete Townshend was the mastermind behind the group. He played lead guitar, he wrote the band's songs, and now that he is on his own, he's really branching out. He's currently employed as an editor at the distinguished British publishing house Faber & Faber, and he has just published his first book. It is titled The Horse's Neck. It's a collection of short stories and poetry, and Pete Townshend is joining us this morning from London to talk about these latest ventures. And good morning.
Hi.
It's nice to have you with us. You've been making music now for more than 20 years, and now here you're publishing a book, you're working in a publishing company. At this time in your life, why are you moving into new fields?
Well, I'm still making records, and I'm very interested in music film, but I suppose it was after that long period of time and not really wanting to look too ridiculous in my middle years, I decided to look for other work. I was actually quite surprised to get it, but I'm very comfortable in publishing. I love it.
You think there comes a time when you have to stop jumping around on stage?
I think so, yeah. I think it's very different growing older in the rock business than it is in other areas of show business, because it's so physical.
And now the book, it seems like it's partly fiction, but it also seems partly autobiographical. How would you describe the book, Horse's Neck?
Well, I suppose every writer has to draw from their personal experience, and my personal experience is pretty limited. Hotel rooms, airports, and the rest. So to some extent it's drawn from my experiences, but there aren't any true stories in it. It's fiction.
You have said about the book, quote, "It feels to me as though I have written an impossible song for the first time." What did you mean by that? Was it difficult to do this?
It was very difficult. I suppose as a lyric writer, writing words for rock songs, one of the things that has always been a great challenge was how to within the very fine limits that rock presents you, because they're very important limits, to expand and to grow. And suddenly when I was faced with the naked page, no chords, no guitar, no recording studio, I found the absence of limitations very difficult to work within, and it did feel like I was trying to achieve something impossible. I kept lapsing into short, tight lines. In fact, the book's often been criticized for being a bit flowery, and I think some of the writing did get flowery because after a while I started to delight in the fact that I didn't have to make every sentence fit 4 beats.
That's right. Well, it may be flowery in a way, but it also, and you say they aren't true stories, but you write about rock musicians and about the business with a bit of irony, maybe even a bit of bitterness. One of the characters, for example, says, all rock and its so-called stars, all they ever did was stand up and complain. You know, looking back on your career, I mean, is this any bit of your own self, is your own character here playing into the characters in the book?
Yeah, and I think more the main bitterness that I carry with me, because there isn't much bitterness. I don't regret the years with the Who at all. I look back with great fondness. The great bitterness is toward the area where rock hoped, as idealists, where we hoped for great changes, social change and political change. And I think we were rather naive. And in a sense, just like everybody else, all we were really doing was complaining and not really doing much to change things. I hope that concerts like Live Aid prove that, in a way that now, there's a certain kind of rock and roll animal, if you like, and part of the machine, which can effect change. It shouldn't be political, obviously, but actual social change. So maybe things are better now, but certainly when I was young, there didn't seem to me that for all its talk, that rock and roll actually changed very much, apart from the length of people's hair and various things like that, you know.
Well, it's interesting, and good luck with your new venture. You still have a few locks there, I see. You haven't cut them all off. And we'll be looking for your next album as well. Nice to have you with us, Pete.
Oh, it's great to be with you. I hope the weather improves.
Oh, thank you very much. We're surviving back here. Coming up next, narrowing the trade gap. We will talk with economist David Jones right after this.
Thanks for watching Cleveland Live Music. If you like staring into the sun with me, hit the subscribe button. There's Patreon and GoFundMe information in the video descriptions. Thanks for the support, and thanks for making the channel grow.